I love books and I love art history and studying works by major painters of the past. And my painting has been influenced by a number of major artists. I also like, of course, a number of rather more modern painters. One of my great favourites of all time is this painting by Franz Marc. And Franz Marc was one of the painters of the German sort of expressionist movement. And this is his three deer in the forest. And the great thing is to try and see if you can see three deer. This painting of Mondrian's, he painted using this rather rigid geometry and using only pure colour and black and white. And it seems extraordinary to me now looking back that I liked his work so much and was indeed influenced by his work. The sort of organisation and the feeling of calm played a very important part in some of my earlier works. But Emil Nolde, an artist that only recently come to the forefront, he uses watercolour on a small scale and uses it beautifully, richly and freely. And I think this one, particularly on my left, is an absolute beauty. So colour was becoming more and more my thing. I think Matisse is the one who particularly excited me as far as colour is concerned. You can see the brilliance of his colour and the organisation of colour on a flat surface. It was Matisse who said that looking at painting should be like sitting in a comfortable armchair and feeling happy. And certainly most of Matisse's work is rich and happy. It's the colour that says so much. Munch is one of my favourite painters. He's a highly emotional expressionist painter, and one of the paintings I love above all is this one called Moonlight. And I was caught actually photographing this in a museum where you weren't meant to photograph. I was just fined a little bit. There's one in which he's including a figure in a landscape. And some of these he really does, through a very simple use of human figures, suggest a huge range of emotion. Delaunay is one of my firm favourites also. Both Sonia Delaunay and her husband, they were particularly concerned with light and colour. And you can see in the vibrancy of a painting like this, the excitement and the movement of this period. It's a sort of post-Cubist period. Very, very lovely. Artists that I've enjoyed and learnt a lot from were, on the whole, all incredibly involved in colour and making colour the main sort of expressionist tool for emotional art forms. And having studied art history fairly intensely, this is hugely valuable. And I can't understand people who don't realise that the work of earlier artists, earlier periods, is enormously valuable. It sort of enables you to learn the language of art through their work. Many art schools, you know, even today, don't combine, or they don't bring in art history or the work of major artists. So how do you learn? I mean, it's absolutely crazy, really, isn't it? It's all one, and it should be taught as one thing. And I came up against a lot of flack because I have always stressed the need to teach art, both sides of art, the practical and the intellectual.